Moore for this opportunity and thank the rest of the committee for the opportunity to testify on behalf of the Safe Communities Act, an act to protect the civil rights and safety of all Massachusetts residents. Since the implementation of Trump's aggressive immigration agenda, arrests of non-criminal immigrants, as my colleague said, people who have never had an encounter with law enforcement in New England, has tripled, disproving any claim that the administration is only going after criminal immigrants. Our communities have been horribly disrupted. We have heard from hundreds of community partners, some of which you will hear from today, across the state of the fear and trepidation that immigrant families are facing and living with. The Safe Communities Act provides the state of Massachusetts with an opportunity to restore trust in our institutions. Local law enforcement agencies get their authority to make arrests under Chapter 41 of Mass General Laws. The Safe Communities Act, in no way, shape, or form, limits the ability or capacity of our law enforcement officials to investigate or prosecute crime. For those that say this legislation and others like it prevent law enforcement from effectively addressing crime, I would like to point to the example of the operation that took place in the city of Lawrence 2 weeks ago. The city of Lawrence enacted a Trust Act ordinance in 2015. However, our local police department just recently collaborated with ICE and other federal enforcement agents for over a year to bring down a drug operation network. The Lawrence Trust Act in no way limited our law enforcement agency's ability to conduct their investigation. In contrast, our immigrant community members, both documented and undocumented, provided critical information and served as witnesses in the development and execution of that investigation. This bill is aligned with good policing practices. Our office has worked very closely with Brian Kais, Chief of the Chelsea Police Department, and other law enforcement colleagues to ensure that the legislation is comprehensive and presents the best practices, and our police need residents to trust them. Only then will people feel safe enough to come forward, report crimes, and help with investigations. The Safe Communities Act upholds the Constitution and conforms to both state and federal law. No provision within the Safe Communities Act prevents ICE from conducting their federal immigration enforcement. In contrast, the legislation is in full compliance with USC 8, Section 1373, and USC 8, Section 1324. It is important to clarify that law enforcement agencies have no legal obligation to engage in federal immigration enforcement. And often when they find themselves doing so, they are legally liable. We should not divert state resources or local resources to do the work of the federal government. Moreover, a string of federal cases have ruled that detainer-based immigration detentions violate the Fourth Amendment. We currently have the Lund versus Commonwealth case pending before the SJC, which is based on the legality of these detentions. In conclusion, there has always been a long tradition in Massachusetts to stand up for what is right, to uphold our values, and to lead on critical issues. Massachusetts, in my humble opinion, has the responsibility, as it has done on many occasions in the past, to starkly distinguish itself and demonstrate that we are not a place where fear will prevail, and that we stand firmly committed to ensuring equal treatment and due process for all. Thank you for your attention. Again, I respectfully request that the committee favorably report this legislation out of committee, and I profoundly thank my colleagues who are behind me in solidarity behind this legislation and everyone who is present today.